How do? Henry's my name and vacuuming's my game. I've come onto this YouTube to tell you all about myself since I were mucked about with by them EU bureaucrats. They've taken away my powerful motor and made me have a low wattage one. They say it's to save the environment, but will I be able to clean up as well as I could before? My friend Roger's going to help demonstrate the new me in this video and test me on lots of surfaces. Oh, I hope I pass, as I've got a wife and 3 kids to support. Anyway, here's Roger to explain everything.
Well, thank you for that marvellous introduction, Henry. Well, my name's Roger, and together with Henry, we're going to try and demonstrate whether this new low wattage Henry is as effective as the old model it replaced. As many of you know, in September last year, 2014, the EU imposed a limit on vacuum cleaners, limiting the wattage to 1600 watts. Now, in 2017, that limit is going to go down to 900 watts. So, in order to meet the new EU regulations, all manufacturers of vacuum cleaners had to reduce the wattage of their vacuums. Now, Henry at 1200 watts was already below the standard 1600 watts that the EU currently demand, but Numatic went further and reduced the wattage to just over 600. Now, this particular machine is the very latest Henry you can buy in 2015, and it's a 620 watt motor. So how can a Henry that uses about half the electricity of the old one pick up as well as the old version? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, after I've done all the demonstrations, we should be able to draw our conclusions to see whether this new Henry is quite as effective as the one it replaced. Before I get to the demonstrations, I'd just like to show you what comes inside Henry's box. First thing we have is a very long 2.4 metre conical hose. Now, this is the first change that Numatic have made to the Henry in order to increase its efficiency. Now, it's conical, which means it's wider at the cleaner end than it is at the handle end. This is supposed to increase airflow and thusly increase the performance. So apart from it being conical, it's much the same as the hose you used to get with the other Henry vacuum cleaners. The small cleaning tools you get included with Henry include this slim crevice tool for your nooks and crannies, a soft dusting brush for doing your shelving, your pelmets, your delicate items. You get an all-purpose nozzle that has a slide-on brush, so you can use that for your stairs with a brush action, your car seats, or you can slide the brush off if you want to do your upholstery that's a little bit more delicate. You also get this little adapter that's used if you want to attach any of the cleaning tools directly to the end of the hose. You can't actually do it unless you use this little adapter piece. So you just put that into whichever tool you want to use, and then you can use the tool directly in the hose handle. Now, that's ideal if you're cleaning in a confined space such as the inside of your car. That's all the small cleaning tools you get. You also get, of course, the handle with a suction control, suction relief valve on the side there, 2 extension tubes, and the carpet and floor nozzle. And this is the main change to Henry, completely different to the carpet and floor nozzle that was supplied with the earlier versions. And first impressions of this nozzle, to me it cleans much better than the old one. Looks like a pretty standard nozzle. Unlike the old Henry though, it doesn't have a metal base plate, it's a plastic base plate. You've got litter pickers either side of the suction inlet. They help deal with more clinging litter such as pet hairs. And you've got a foot operated switch here, so that lowers the brush all the way round for cleaning your hard floors. You've also got a little bracket on the side, that's your parking bracket. And on the back of Henry, you actually have this little slot here, so when you're cleaning, if you need to pause your cleaning for any length of time, you can just slot the main floor head into the bracket, so you're not having to drop the nozzle onto the floor, so you're having to pick it up off the floor. Obviously when you're cleaning you'd have the tubes attached to that nozzle. There is storage on board for one cleaning tool. There's this little clip here, so whichever cleaning tool you find you're using most, you can actually clip it onto the body of Henry like that, and then it's always there when you need it. On the back of Henry we've got two switches. The red switch is your main on-off switch, and then you've got a low and a high position, this green switch here. So low is obviously for low suction, and high, that's for your regular carpet and hard floor cleaning. So you'd only really use low if you're cleaning any delicate surfaces. There's a built-in carry handle on the top of Henry. You just pull it up when you need to use it, and then you can lift Henry out to the car or up your stairs or wherever you need Henry to clean. Another big advantage of the Numatic Henry is the extra long 10-metre cable that stores neatly inside the machine. Now 10 metres means that for the average UK home you can plug the Henry into one socket, and you can certainly clean your whole downstairs and then all your upstairs as well. Just have to change the sockets twice, so that's a big advantage. Also, of course, combined with the extra long 2.4 metre hose, you do have a very long reach with the Henry. So when you've finished your cleaning, you need to wind up the cable neatly back into the body, and you just use the cable reel on the top of the machine here. Easy as that. With most people opting for bagless vacuum cleaners these days, Henry is bucking the trend by still using a dust bag. But the dust bag is an extra large 9 litre capacity. So to access the dust bag, you simply remove the two clips either side of Henry's motor unit, lift the motor unit off, and under this filter you'll find the large dust bag. Now you get a few spares with the Henry, but when you need to replace these dust bags, they are easily available and relatively cheap. And look at the size, 9 litres, that's a lot of dirt you can get in that bag. They're the new HEPA flow type bags, so they're a material instead of the old paper bags, so they're very strong, they're less likely to split if you overfill them. You've got a strong plastic collar, a rubber seal, or I don't know if it's rubber, but it's a plastic membrane anyway, that enables a tight fit onto the bag support tube to prevent dust from escaping. And when you remove the bag, you can simply close the cover over like that, so no dust escapes when you're taking the bag to your bin. Okay, so the first task I'm going to ask Henry to perform is to clean up this rice that I've thrown down on the carpet. Now I know we don't often have to clean up dry rice from a carpet, but the reason we use rice in demonstrations is partly it shows up well on camera, especially on this blue carpet. But the main reason I'm using rice in this particular demonstration is to see how effective this nozzle is at cleaning up to the edge. So apart from spreading the rice out in the general area, I've made sure it goes right up to the bottom of this wardrobe. So we want to see if this nozzle will clean up to the edge either of your skirting board or any heavy items of furniture you have in the home. It saves you having to get out the crevice tool. So I'm going to switch Henry on, and in all the demonstrations, unless I say otherwise, I'm going to be using Henry on the maximum setting, the high power setting, which is the 620 watt motor speed setting. So I'm just going to pass the nozzle backwards and forwards right up to the edge of this wardrobe, and then we'll see how Henry performs. Now, it's done very well up to the edge. It's only left one tiny grain of rice, so as far as cleaning up to the edge of items, it's very good. Obviously it has left some of the rice, but you don't clean normally just forward and back, you do it a few times. So if I was to use Henry normally, let's see if it'll pick up the rest of this rice. Now that's surprising. because it is picking it up, but it is leaving a lot. I am having to go over the area quite a few times. Now I'm wondering whether it's doing this because it's sucking up the carpet. I can actually see it pulling up the carpet. So I'm going to try it just to see if lower power is actually going to be more beneficial in this instance. So I'm going to turn it on to low and go over this area again. Well, in this test it didn't really make much difference. It was still leaving quite a lot of the rice. I was having to go over. I could hear a lot of the rice going up the tube, so the Henry was picking up a lot of it. And if you look at the area, you can see that it has picked up most of the rice. And if I continue vacuuming as you would normally, all this rice would be removed from the carpet. But as I said, it was mainly to test the side suction of this nozzle, and for that it did a very good job. For my next test, I've put down rather a lot of dirt onto the carpet. Now this is a mixture of all sorts of different things. Now I've left the rice, some extra rice has been added. Also you'll see little bits of paper. This is mainly fluff from a wool rug. There's also several different types of dog hair mixed in with this as well. There's dust, there's flour, there's couscous, there's all sorts. Basically, a lot of the demonstrations I do, I put down a lot of dirt and then I recycle it. So this is the culmination of many different vacuum cleaner demonstrations. Now it doesn't look a lot here because I haven't panned out yet, but I have put down rather a lot of dirt. And I'm going to test Henry's effectiveness through the middle of this dirt. We're going to pass the nozzle forward and back through the middle, and then we can evaluate the path that Henry has cleaned.
Bad gum, you're not going to make me clean that, are you?
It's alright, Henry, we did explain this before the video. We have to show the viewers how effective you are, and the rice just didn't work, did it? Didn't cut the mustard. So, come on, you can do it. Right, I'll just move you out of the way, Henry. So I've got a bit more space. I'm going to switch Henry on full power, pass the nozzle backward and forward through the middle of the picture on your screen, and hopefully we're going to have a nice stripe of blue carpet. Now, it's not perfect, but for 2 sweeps that's not bad. Now what's been left, and it's not just Numatic Henry that will do this, it's many or most suction only vacuum cleaners. Now it's coped with all the surface stuff, all the big particles, the surface litter. The one thing that the Henry has struggled with is some of the fibres, and that's very hard to pick up on camera, but I'm looking closer. Now these fibres here are, as I say, from a wool rug, and inside that's mixed, there's dog hair mixed in with that. So that, if you look closely, I'm not sure if you can see, I will zoom in a moment and you'll see what I mean. It has left, the 2 passes has left that, and being very, very critical, I can see some little specks of dust as well. But compared to the Hetty vacuum cleaner that I tested a while back, that was the old 1200 watt version with the old floor head, this does a better job, and yet it's half the wattage. So I'll just zoom in and show you the dirt that the Henry has left. I've zoomed in as close as I can to the carpet without the camera going out of focus, and you can just about see here odd little bits of the fibres that Henry missed on the first couple of passes. But as I said, it's not unusual for a straight suction cleaner to leave these bits the first time. You might have to go over the same area a few times in order to remove everything. If you have pets, if you have pet hair to deal with, I suggest you look at the Henry Extra that comes with the turbo nozzle as standard. Okay, so as I walk through the relatively clean path that Henry has left me, I'm just going to go over most of this area again, but I'm just going to use Henry the way you would use it, with back and forth motion overlapping the strokes. Again, I'm on full power. Now I've brought Henry into the kitchen to see how he copes with cleaning messes off a hard surface. Now I've thrown down some more dirt. I've used the old favourite rice, which of course you may spill on your kitchen floor. I've also put down some sugar, some flour and some rolled oats. So we have plenty of different sized particles to see if Henry will cope with picking them all up. A lot of vacuum cleaners struggle with flour, they often leave some residue behind, and some also struggle with larger particles because most nozzles tend to snow plough the dirt ahead of them due to the fact that most carpet and hard floor nozzles like this have a brush on the front of the nozzle which does tend to push the dirt away. So I'm going to pass Henry back and forth through the middle of this dirt and see how effective it is on hard floors. Now, there has been some snow ploughing, as I predicted, just off camera, just ahead of me here. I can see where it's snow ploughed a lot of the rolled oats and some of the rice. But apart from that, it has actually coped with the flour and the sugar. So the fine particles, it's more or less removed everything first time. It's just going to need another couple of passes to remove the larger particles. I'll also have to angle the nozzle slightly as I'm passing over the larger particles, but that's something you do normally when you're cleaning your kitchen if you've got lots of larger bits like cat litter, for example, or dry dog food, things like that. You would have to angle the nozzle upwards in order to remove them all. Anyway, I'm just going to clean the rest of this up. You're a bit dusty, Henry, I'm afraid. I'm going to clean the rest of this up just as I would normally clean using Henry. So I'm just going to move Henry out of the way and get cleaning. Apart from a few stray bits that escaped the suction, went down the pipe again, I'm pretty impressed. Again, Henry has performed better than the 1200 watt Hetty using the old nozzle. So all in all, it's a thumbs up for the performance of the new Henry. Now one area that Henry struggles with is the stairs. Now it does have an extra long hose, so Henry will reach a certain way up with the machine safely at the bottom, but you will not be able to clean a standard flight of stairs with Henry at the bottom. You're either going to have to hold Henry in one hand while you're directing the nozzle with the other, or to clean the rest of the stairs you're going to have to place Henry above you on the landing. But if you do that, just take care that you don't pull Henry down on top of you. If stair cleaning is a particular issue for you, you can buy an extra long hose to fit on Henry. Now there's many manufacturers that make hoses. I've seen a 5-metre hose on Amazon for around 12 or 13 pounds. So you just have to take off the shorter hose, attach the longer hose, then you'd be able to clean the whole flight of stairs with Henry at the bottom. Well, that just about concludes my demonstration of the Numatic Henry model HVR 212. Well, Henry, you can continue to smile because you've done very well. I've been very impressed with this vacuum. When I unboxed the machine initially and tested it out very briefly, I knew it was different to the Hetty that I tested last year. Despite the fact being about half the wattage of Hetty, I believe this Henry does pick up better. It's a combination, mainly I think it's the new carpet and floor nozzle that makes a huge difference. Also, of course, we have the conical hose, and I believe Numatic have improved the motor. They've not just put a standard motor inside Henry and reduced the wattage. They've made tweaks to the motor to keep the suction strong. So all in all, if you're looking for a robust, reliable workhorse, then basically you can't beat Henry. And for around £100, Amazon sell Henry for around 100. Most retailers you can get Henry for 100 or just under. Sometimes they're on offer, you can sometimes get Henry a little bit less. But they're good, reliable, solid, British-made vacuum cleaners. They're not the most convenient to use in some homes, a little bit heavy, a little bit bulky, and obviously not the best for stairs. But all in all, if you want a bagged vacuum cleaner, I do recommend this Henry vacuum. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so. You'll find a link below also to my Facebook page. If you're a particular fan of vacuum cleaners, an Uber fan, then I have a Facebook page with a lot of behind the scenes content and exclusive photos. So until the next video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.